What's going on with everybody out there? Welcome to the Fast Point View podcast with your host, Trucker Chubby, aka Clarence Hampton III. The section coaches and pros, the X's and O's. This is the Fast Point View. What we know, so let's go. Yo, what's up with it, everybody? What's going on, man? Y'all's tuned in, man. Thank y'all for joining me, man. Hey, no matter what you out there doing right now, man, make sure you hitting that like button, man. It's free to hit that like button. It helps the bull, it helps the channel grow. And I appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in, man, with me, man, and rocking out with me. Today, y'all, we talking about the top 5 quarterbacks. It is way too early to talk about the top 5 quarterbacks that will probably be first round picks. Let's talk about it though. We love these quarterbacks in college football right now. And the reason why I want to talk to y'all about this is simply because I'm an AFC North guy, right? I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. We got 2 teams in the AFC North that still have not found their franchise quarterback. Even though Will Howard is there, he's a 6th round pick, meaning that he's expendable to the team. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And the same thing going on with the Cleveland Browns right now. They have not solidified their quarterback. They took one in the 3rd round. That was in the playoff last year with Dylan Gabriel. And then they took Shedeur Sanders, which you could argue that he was the best quarterback in the Big 12, but they took him in the 5th round. So both of those guys are to seem expendable. And if the Browns does not have a winning record, they'll probably be going at quarterback. Now, I did say, however, on the World High channel, I did say if any quarterback for the Browns plays good and playing well, if they see some of the things they want to see out of them, good things in that offense, commanding that offense, and if their traits is on point, they may not go quarterback. We don't know that, you know what I mean? But just assume they do. So the top 5 quarterbacks that we have in the NFL to actually try to, put this in all to some perspective, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott in the regular season. Say what you want about Dak in the playoffs, but Dak in the regular season is absolutely phenomenal. The guy is absolutely phenomenal in the regular season, just as Justin Herbert. Dak and Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson automatically always are going to be in a playoff. Those 5 guys should be in the playoffs every single year without a doubt. That is kind of the barometer the NFL looks at. There's other guys who have been a 1st round pick but really didn't pan out, and we're talking about a guy like Anthony Richardson, Will Levis. You know what I mean? Will Levis' arm strength is there. The guy he really got a cannon. He really could rip the ball. His intermediate throws, he does have a cannon, despite of what everybody wants to think out there. Tennessee Titan fans, I know what I'm talking about. We've seen him play. He got a cannon. Let's not knock that. You know what I'm saying? Let's not knock Anthony Richardson for his phenomenal athletic ability at the quarterback position, because he does have that. You know what I mean? And that's what some of these guys are going to see. Rather, they're going to have the size that the NFL looks for, the arm strength, or their athletic ability is why they'll be on this list. Now, we know about guys like Archie Manning. Archie Manning, his popularity, he's just as polarizing this year as Shedeur was last year. But this list may or may not get to you, and you're going to be surprised by some of these guys I got on this list. So let's go ahead and let's get the first guy pulled up real quick, man, and let's talk about it, man. Yes, sir. I had to get my man up here, Drew Aller from Penn State. Now, Drew Aller from Penn State, there's some things that you want to look at when you're looking for Drew Aller. Drew Aller absolutely has the size that the NFL wants. Despite what anybody out there wants to say, despite how we feel personally, we got to take our emotions out of it. Oh, Penn State this, Penn State that. Who cares? The guy Drew Aller just last season, y'all, threw for 3,327 yards, had 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, had a quarterback rating of 77, which is really good. Not only that, now let's forget about the stats. I'm not talking about his stats. Now, his stats is saying, okay, but you could say, oh, well, he played for Penn State and da da da. Penn State didn't really have no receivers. He only had one guy, really. Tyler Warren was really just getting it last year. Let's talk about it. But anyway, he has the size. He has the prototypical size for the NFL. The kid is 6'5". He's listed as 6'5", 238 pounds. So let's say he's 6'4". He has the size that the NFL wants. He is an athlete that plays football, so he's athletic. You know what I mean? He's athletic enough. A lot of these guys are going to be athletic enough, you know what I mean, for rushing ability, whatever. You don't got to run a 70-yard touchdown like Lamar Jackson all the time. We just need you to be able to, your arm strength has to be there, your ball placement, his mechanics, decision making, pocket presence, rushing. Can you run the ball or not? And not only that, but there's the traits, right? Your physical traits, and then there's mental traits. And I think when you look at Drew Aller, you looking at more of his mental traits. This is what you want to see out of him this year, right? In my opinion, right? Because this is opinion based, and this is a prediction, right? So, in my opinion, I'm looking to see Drew Aller take the next step with his mental traits. He has the physical traits, right? He has the size. He's athletic enough. You know what I mean? He has the arm strength. Now we got it. Now, what I want to see out of him, to be honest, I want to see his decision making. I want to see Drew Aller's decision making because I think all these guys on this list are highly competitive. He's been with Penn State throughout his whole college career, which is really good. And nowadays, with the transfer portal being the way it is, but that also sometimes can hurt you because can he learn a system on the fly, right? So you're definitely questioning his decision making, right? I want to see him his pre-snap reads, his post-snap reads, and how we know he adjusts to adversity pretty well because we seen the interception that he threw and he kind of got back into the flow of the game. However, we have seen him throw some picks and it will happen. It just will happen. You know what I mean? So ball placement when it comes to his arm traits, his ball placement is it good or is it not? Now he had Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren made up for a lot of that last year, but I do think that Drew Aller's ball placement is there. I do think it is all. If I had to sum it up and I had to say, and somebody said, does Drew Aller have good ball placement or bad ball placement? I say it's good ball placement for Drew Aller. You know what I'm saying? I would have to say that his mechanics. How is he loading up? Is his footwork there? That matters, especially when you're in a pocket, and it has a lot to do with your pocket presence. It has a whole lot to do with that, right? And these are things that stats really don't tell you. You know what I mean? These you have to look at these things, right? um and the post snap read is everything because see what you see pre snap now you probably won't see post snap, and the game is evolving every year. Yes, it's a copycat league, but defensive coordinators are getting so smart to the point where, and these guys are getting so athletic. Look at James Pierce Jr., for example, at Tennessee. Oh my goodness. If you think that he won't be down there at the Atlanta Falcons picking up running back out of the backfield coming off the edge, you might highly be mistaken for that because he has the speed to cover a running back. Yes, he does. Yes, James Pierce Jr. does. We all seen it. Straight line 40. His his speed on the field is good, is there. He's a little undersized, but y'all get where I'm going. I'm just, giving y'all a picture of how defenses may disguise. And this is what I think you want to see out of Drew Aller. All, and all in all, I think that Drew Aller will be fine. You know what I mean? I really honestly do. But I do think that, his sheer size obviously will he'll be looked at as a first round pick, but you want to see his mobility. You know what I'm saying? Does he have the ability to move and avoid the pressure in a pocket? His decision making, definitely analyzing what's going on pre and post snap. That is everything. You know what I mean? his leadership. I think he has that. You know what I mean? I think he definitely has that. And like I said, I think everybody just has the intangibles to play the position. You know what I'm saying? The uh physical toughness. Now, and that's something a college quarterback and a lot of guys don't have, but I think Drew Aller might he'll have it. He'll definitely be tested with that mental toughness and his competitiveness. I think everybody has them, just the intangibles to play the position. That's on my list here today anyway. But yeah, so let's keep it moving on the next one. That's it for Drew Aller, and that's what we want to see out of Drew Aller. What do, again, to make this clear, what do we want to see out of Drew Aller next season? This season, well, this season coming up, we want to see his decision making. I think that is the thing that he'll be looked at the most for the NFL scouts. When it comes time for them to evaluate Drew Aller, his decision making will be critical if he's going to be a first round pick or if he will fall in the draft. That is one thing that we have seen this year. We've seen it, so we all know that. And I think that's pre and post snap. You know what I mean? So his mental traits is what makes him a first round pick, or will he slide down in the draft? His mental traits. Remember, decision making, football IQ. You know what I'm saying? And what do I mean by the decision making? Like I said, I think it's your pre-snap and post-snap reads, being able to take what you see pre-snap and post-snap after you snap the ball, what the defense is getting into, your decision making. Are you going to go ahead and take what the defense is giving you? Or are you going to try to force it into a bad situation and take that? You know what I mean? Taking sacks, pocket presence. Is he stepping up in the pocket? Is he drifting back, trying to use his athletic ability to cover up for some of his mistakes? Now, some of these guys on this list may be able to do that, but that's what we're looking for. And not Will Howard, excuse me, but for Drew Aller coming out of Penn State. All right. Next up on our list, we got none other than Caden Salter. That's right, number 4. And this is in an order. I'm putting it in an order. Drew Aller was number 5. Caden Salter is my number 4 on this list. Caden Salter. Why am I putting him at number 4? Well, his previous season up at Liberty, before he is now a Colorado Buffalo under Coach Deion Sanders, right? Coach Prime. Everybody calls him. Now, Caden Salter had a phenomenal first round at the 2020, what was it, a 2022 season or 2023 season with Liberty. It was phenomenal. And we just got to keep it real. We cannot knock that. It was phenomenal in the American Athletic, right? He's in American Athletic Conference, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, I don't think he's is it the AAC, the American Athletic? I can't remember which one it is. It might not even be that, to be honest. But anyhow, Caden Salter, I think he, you know what I'm saying, had a phenomenal season. Now, his moving on to his last season, I think Caden Salter was just he's a great dual threat quarterback. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. I'm dealing with some things on the side. And I was like, hey, yo, what's going on? They like probably wait, what's going on? So yeah, but Caden Salter played for the Liberty Flames, excuse me. He's only 6'1", 200 pounds. Caden Salter is. But so you like trucking, he's short. And they just was talking about all these short quarterbacks and how some of these guys slid. Caden Salter's athletic ability alone will make him a first round pick. He's a true dual threat quarterback. Now, like I said, Caden Salter's 2024 stats, it was not looking like his 2023 stats at all. 2023, you know, he threw for over 2,000 yards, almost 3,000. Now we got it, and you have to remember that Caden Salter is a dual threat quarterback. So during that season, those seasons, the guy in 2023 had 1,000 yards on the ground and 12 touchdowns. Just last season, he only had about 1,000, but he ran for over 500 yards and had 7 touchdowns. His athletic ability alone is why he'll be looked at as a first round pick. Now, what do you want to see out of Caden Salter? Because we know for sure he has the physical attributes, and that's it. He has the physical traits and we know that. So if he has the physical traits and his rushing abilities are already there, then we have to be looking at, you know, are they going to look at his mechanics? And you got to remember the 5 quarterbacks I named at the beginning of the video. You know what I mean? Which category are you putting Caden Salter in? Is it the Lamar Jackson category, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, or Dak Prescott? Which category are we putting this guy in? Now, first come to mind, you're going to say Lamar Jackson, right? That's the first, you know what I mean? Lamar Jackson, not the tallest guy, you know what I mean? Don't got Josh Allen size, same thing as Patrick Mahomes, but he could be right in between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, right? And believe it or not, it's a copycat league and it's always evolving, but this is the kind of things that they looking at. And I'm noticing this from doing my homework on a position. Believe it or not, yes, Trucking does do his homework. So, and so we looking at Caden Salter, and he's now with Colorado. He's all the eyes are going to be there. The games are going to be watched. People want to see Coach Prime lose. They want to see him win. You know what I mean? There's a whole slew of people that want to see him win, and there's a whole slew of people that want to see him lose. Either way, they come together. The games are going to be watched. All eyes are on Caden Salter. Decision making is crucial for Caden Salter. It is going to be crucial, no doubt. We definitely want to see that at the next level. But him being short, arm strength, I think is a key thing you want to look at with him. His arm strength. Does he really have the arm strength for the NFL? Ball placement. It's tough for a guy to be 6 foot, you know what I mean, and have great ball placement. So, you know what I mean? We've seen guys do it like Russell Wilson. We've seen those guys, you know what I mean, with great ball, but that's what you really want to see with him. Is he putting it where it needs to be? How fast is Caden Salter's release of the ball? How quick is he making these decisions? Because listen, you know, he can't afford to let the line get, you know, like Big Ben or Josh Allen, where he could just stand up and just, you know, throw over one of these defensive linemen. You know, he got to get rid of it quick. And we're going to probably be using him for some boots, you know, rolling them out, you know, and getting him some space. His ability to move the pocket, his pocket presence, that's going to be key for him. Can he move the pocket, and can his arm strength there and his ball placement? That's what I want to see out of Caden Salter, because we know he has the athletic ability to get the job done, you know, and I just want to make that clear for y'all. Now, his last season, like I said, his last season stats, he only had 1,886 yards, had 15 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Now, what would he do in the Big 12? And he's probably going to be splitting some time with a 5-star quarterback in Juju Lewis. So he has that to deal with too also. You know, he's in a very peculiar situation over there in Colorado right now, but I think that he can rise above that, and, you know, battling it out with a quarterback and having that behind you the whole entire season. If he can stay consistent, and consistency is always a key for everybody, right? But in his case, having, you know, who's behind him and his ability to keep it going, I think is going to be key, man. So what are we looking for? Just to make sure that we're all on the same page, what are we looking for when it comes to Caden Salter? I think he has the intangibles to play the position. Everybody does on my list. They all have the intangibles. And what do I mean by that? The competitiveness, their leadership, the things that just, you know, the small things like that, you know, responding to adversity. How do they do that? You know what I mean? I think all these guys have those intangibles, but I want to see, to be sure, we want to see his ball placement. You know, what is ball placement going to look like? You know, of course, decision making, and that comes down to a lot of guys, but let's just call it what it is, right? But I want to see his pocket presence, his ability to move the pocket. How quick is his reaction to get rid of the ball? Is it the right decision he's making, and is it the wrong one? So decision making with him. So let's go ahead and let's move on to the next guy, right? Now, I mean, you know, closing out on Caden Salter, I think he's one of my favorites this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing Caden Salter be successful this upcoming football season, man. I really am. And listen, y'all, I'd be lying to y'all if I said I wasn't, because I'm really looking forward to see Caden Salter do well with Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes this season, right? So let's get it popping. Who we got up next? Oh yeah, this is gonna rattle some of y'all cages out there. Yes, it is. It's gonna rattle Taylor Green out of Arkansas. Like, why, Truckin? Why is he on this list? He plays for Arkansas. Because do you not know he also played at Boise State in a great system with a great coach? Let's talk about it. This is his second system that he's played in. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention that about Kaden Salter, too. That's his second system also, right? So that helps guys. You know, how many system has they played in? Their ability to catch on. Regardless of what you might want to talk about with Taylor Green or not, Taylor Green is a big boy. He's huge, dude. The dude is just listen, the dude is just huge. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? He finished in the top 25 in the top 25 in the country when it came to quarterbacks, right behind Tyler Show. Right behind Tyler Show that just got drafted by the New Orleans Saints. Okay? Tyler Green is a big dude. Sick, like how tall is a dude? I think he's like 6'6". They got him listed at 6'6", 230 pounds. You hear me? That right there. And listen, his size is going to make him a first round pick, right? Just his pure size at the position, 6'6". So he's a true 6'5". We know that for a fact. If they got him listed at 6'6", he's definitely a true without a doubt 6'5". Period. All right, we know how they size him. They give him an inch or half an inch, however they go, or inch. You know what I mean? But we know he's a 6'5" for sure. So that alone got him, at the top. Now, how would he finish this season? Now, he was recently up at Boise State. He spent some time at Boise State. Yes, he did. He started in Boise State in 2021. He didn't get no rep there. You know what I mean? Like, he got in, came in as a freshman there. I think there was his first year. 2022 at Boise, he threw for 2,000 yards. Had 14 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 2023 at Boise, the year before he went to Arkansas. Now he had 1,752 yards, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So Arkansas looking for a dual threat quarterback. He goes to Arkansas in the SEC. Say what you want, but when you're an SEC quarterback and you throw for over 3,000 yards, you're doing something right, my guy. You're doing something right. And plus, all those seasons since 2022, he's been rushing for 500 yards average. Okay, 500 yards. Now, he had 3,000 yards, 3,154 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in the SEC. Played for one of the worst in the SEC, but he also had 600 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's very athletic, bro. Very athletic. Now, he's taken some to the house out of the quarterback. He's fast to be that big. Yes, he is. He's had a 91-yard touchdown at Boise. He's had a 70-yard touchdown at Boise. He had a 40-yard touchdown in the SEC. So, that's pretty dang on good. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty dang on good. What are we going to look for out of Taylor Green? And I know a lot of people like, yo, like, Trucking, he's going crazy talking about Taylor Green. Yes, I am. Because we know he has the physical traits in which they want to look for in the NFL. We're talking about guys that can be. He's already in the best football conference in college football alone, facing some of the best competition that college football has to offer. That alone, okay, has the size, has the physical traits. So now we definitely want to question his mental traits. That's what being questioned right now when you look at Tyler Green. I'm telling you, it's just his mental traits. I'm saying, what's going to make up for him? He got to be able to analyze the situation he's in, identify the best play, and make the decision quick. That's what you want to see out of him, especially in being in the SEC. It seems like he did it pretty good, but when you got 15 touchdowns, you got 9 interceptions, you're gonna have for half. That has to be better. That stat sheet got to get cleaned up a little bit because it got to look good. You know what I mean? It got to look good. Don't get me wrong. I understand he played for Arkansas, but he got to clean up some of that play. Will he progress this year? I think so, because he had his best season that he's had so far in Arkansas. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, but I think the coach who had Lamar Jackson at Louisville is now at Arkansas with Tylen Green. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But if I could remember, it was a conversation that me and Shad was having some time ago, and we were like, "Oh wow, he's down there with Tylen Green." Now that explains why Tylen Green is getting better. Now, if he does have the same quarterback coach that Lamar Jackson had, oh, we might be looking at a 4,000-yard passer for sure. I think you might be like, oh, can he throw for 400 more yards at Arkansas? I think he can get it done, but we definitely want to understand his mental traits. That's all you're looking at when you're looking at a Tylen Green. He's perfect. Everything else is perfect. He's in the toughest football conference you have to offer. He has the size. He got the arm strength. He got one of the best coaches to in his systems to run. Like, okay, now you're just looking at the small things, the mechanics. Does he have the mechanics? Because you seen how in accuracy, right? Does he have the accuracy in his mechanics? Because Cam Newton, it was like, does he have the accuracy? Does he have the mechanics? Now we knew he could run, and he used that a lot. He used what he had, right? And so does Tylen Green. He has the ability to make up for that. You know what I mean? Anthony Richardson-esque. I didn't say he was. I said esque, right? And so now I want to look at also his decision making with a lot of these guys, right? You can say that with a lot of these guys, but the pocket presence, right? And his football IQ, man, the football IQ of Tylen Green, I think, is important because he's in the SEC. He's going to have to play smart ball, right? Understanding the strategy of his offensive coordinator. Will he be able to implement the strategy of his offensive coordinator versus the strategy when he may be going against the defensive coordinator from Georgia? You know what I mean? Yeah, to sum it up, defensive coordinator at Florida. You got to be able to break this down, play chess. That is going to be so important in the way that he's grown. I've seen the stats tell the story that he has progressed, that he has gotten better. But now I want to see the maturity level come up out of Tylen Green, because if I see maturity in him, the maturity, I think he can lead the team. You know what I mean? Motivate his players, inspire these guys, get Arkansas at least to a 7-win season, man. Turn things around. You know what I mean? Um, and look, we say winning games ain't important, but it is. Winning is important, right? Winning is important. I don't think that he can be a first round pick if Arkansas does not win more than 6 games. You know what I mean? They have to at least be bowl eligible. Get Arkansas to a bowl, Tylen Green, and show your football IQ, being able to implement the strategies of your offensive coordinator, being able to slice up a defense, because y'all got some great defensive coordinators down there in the SEC. Make good decisions, and no doubt he's going to be a first rounder. Y'all cannot tell me that he will not be a first rounder, because he will be. You know what I mean? 3,500 yards. Get those interceptions down to about let's go for 5, 6, 6. Get those interceptions down by 3, because you're gonna have to do that in order to win games. You can't turn the ball over. And 20 touchdowns. And the kid, he's gone. He's going out of here. Now the stats look good for all the stat readers out there, the analytics, because and everything else lines up. So what are we looking for? So let's make this clear. What am I looking for at a Tylen Green to improve and to be a first round pick in the 2026 draft? I want to make sure that his accuracy is okay, is there. his mechanics, like I said, his football IQ, And what I mean by that is, like I said, implementing the strategy of his offensive coordinator and being able to dice up the defensive coordinator strategy. This is what I want to see out of him. To sum it up, I think I just went into a couple of different words of saying decision making, right? But I kind of gave a little bit more context into that, right? That's all. You know what I mean? And his pocket presence, right? I want to see his pocket presence too. And he's gone. He out of here, man. He out. He out of here. That's just me though. But that's me. You know what I mean? And look, y'all. We all got that. Like I said, this is opinion based. This is my top 5. Way too early top 5, right? So it is what it is. Yeah, number 2. I got him at number 2. I had to put Carson back at number 2. I would be crazy not to put Carson back at number 2. He played for Kirby Smart. He played for Kirby Smart. Hold up. He played for Kirby Smart. Are we serious? Lee gonna sit here and say, like, despite anything you want to say about Carson Beck and how he couldn't get Georgia this and couldn't get Georgia that, Carson Beck is now going to the U. I want to run. He's going to the U, dog. He's going to the U. They about to put some swag and some sauce on him. That is a very prestigious university. Despite what you want to talk about, put some skates. Move like you got some skates. Hey, move like you got some skates. Hey, you know what I mean? He about to get. Hey, listen, man. They're about to put some funk up on Carson Beck. You hear me? Carson Beck, man. He is going to be, when you move from Kirby Smart to now Mario Cristobal. Who? He played for Kirby Smart and Mario Cristobal? Ooh. We just seen somebody who was a 0-star going into college play for Mario Cristobal and wind up being the first overall pick. I don't know. Cam Ward got the size. But what this Carson Beck had, now, we knew for Carson Beck, despite what you want to talk about the guy, he had 28 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, threw for 3,485 yards. And that's and we just talking about, hold up, and we just talking about that. He's done that multiple times. 2023 season was even better. He had 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. If Carson Beck gets those interceptions down, it's on and popping. It's on and popping. Now he's athletic. He's an athlete. He's an athlete. Yes, he's athletic enough. Like I said, nowadays you're not really going to see a guy who's not athletic enough to be able to make up, for a mistake with that. But what category are we going to put Carson Beck in? Because we know he's not going to run. We know his pocket presence is there. Say what you want about Carson Beck. Say what you want. The pocket presence is there. This is why he's my number 2. Are you going to be like, I know y'all like, who's number 1? If Carson Beck is number 2, trekking like, who's number 1? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, his pocket presence is there. I think his, the interceptions, yeah, you can say it was mental traits. Everybody has things. He came back for an extra year. And that's great because I think it benefited him, right? But I still think that Carson Beck would have been drafted this year. Had Carson Beck came out this year, I still think he would have been drafted. You know what I mean? But to come back and say, I want to work out my craft, you know what I mean? I'm going to go back. I'm going to get this bag. Say what you want. I think it's more than just the bag to Carson Beck. I really do. I would hate to sit here and say that it's all about the bag. Of course, he's going to get a nice little bag, but I think it has to do with him wanting to better his game. I think he was maxed out at what Kirby Smart and his staff at Georgia was offering him as a quarterback. Plus the up and coming guys, he's like, all right, let me move over. Let me go to a team and let me really show the college football world what I can do. Because I think his, you're going to question decision making, right? And post snap reads with 12 interceptions, going from 6 to 12 interceptions in one season. It's obvious that the defense have evolved in the SEC. He played in the toughest conference there is. He's going to the American Coastal Conference, the ACC, with Miami. Now they we're gonna pay attention to some of the games. Now, despite what you want to say about the ACC, I don't think that they really did too well in bowl games, meaning that a lot of their up and coming guys may not be there, but there is some good coaches in the ACC. Brent Pry, let's talk about it. Brent Key, um, there's some great coaches. And they just added Bill Belichick with North Carolina. I don't know if Miami's going to see that, but there are some great coaches that is in the ACC. And a lot of guys that come out the ACC, I think, are going to be NFL ready. And I think there's some great development going on there, whether we want to say it or not, right? I think that they're developing players pretty good in that American Coastal Conference. Now, what do we want to see out of Carson Beck? Um, I think Carson Beck got the arm strength, right? I mean, I think he got. I want to see his ball placement. I want to see his ball placement. What based off of the top 5 guys in the NFL. I want to see what his ball placement is going to look like. Can he stay consistent? Because he got the size. He's 6'4". He's listed at 6'4", 220 pounds, meaning that he's 6'3". He got the size. Period, point blank. Say what you want to say about him. So decision making is going to be key. Cleaning up the stats, making it look pretty for the analytics. Only for the analytics, not for me. I'm not saying that that's going to a key. Oh, that he's going to get. She's saying he's going to get drafted because he's talking about stats. No, I'm saying it makes it look good for the guys. The analytics. You know what I mean? Call it what you want. You get paid because your numbers look good. When you get a new contract in the NFL, you get a new contract because your numbers look good. That's just what I'm talking about. That's all I'm talking about. But now I definitely want to see that about him, right? Um, I don't think you got to question his mechanics. I think everybody can always work on that. I think that that's just something he got there. Like I want to see his post snap. His post snap reads is going to be important because you're going to see coaches like Brent Pye, Brent Key, and Bill Belichick. Let's not forget Dabo Sweeney over there at Clemson. I don't want to forget him, and I don't want to knock the staff over there at FSU because there's some great coaching going on in the ACC. So it's going to be key to him taking care of the ball. You know what I mean? Um, is his because his I think his pocket presence is there. Like I said, he's a veteran quarterback, man, and I think Crystal Ball does a hell of a job with getting those guys that's going to be cool as a cool cumber when it comes to the pressure that's coming in their face. So, I think you just want to see like I said, what's his ability going to look like to anticipate what the defense is doing. I think that's key for Carson Beck. I honestly do. I don't think that Carson Beck has a lot to really show the NFL besides what he's going to do post snap. You know what I mean? That's it. Take care of the ball. And I honestly think so because I tell you what, if Carson Beck gets Miami into the college football playoff, he's already going to be a first round pick. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. If Miami Hurricanes go into the college football playoff under the leadership of Carson Beck, under the helm of Carson Beck leading that offense, he's going there. He's gone. He's definitely going in the first round. Talk about what y'all want because he has a lot of the traits. He has the size. And look, so what doesn't he have? Right. Let's be realistically to make it clear. What do we want to see out of Carson Beck? I want to make sure that he has his accuracy, the ball placement. I want to see his ball placement skills get better, especially with coming back. You know what I mean? Oh, and like I said, ball placement is the trajectory put on the ball, knowing when to lob it, knowing when to fire it, putting it left, putting it low. You know what I mean? That's all I'm talking about with that. Just to give it a little bit of context and what I mean by that, right? Um, and I definitely want to see him prove his arm strength because I've seen some people knock on him for that. So I want to see that. I want to see him prove people wrong about that. But hey, that's just me. He don't gotta listen to me. I'm just trucking. Um, and but I definitely want to see his mobility. I want to see Carson Beck's mobility. I want to see him use his mobility more this year, more than he's ever had. You know what I mean? I want Carson Beck to have this season 300 rushing yards, 6 to 8 touchdowns on the ground. I want to see Carson Beck do that because I think that's something that he has to show. Um, I think that's something that people want to see out of him, his mobility. You know what I mean? Um, That's it. So you could also say pocket presence. Can he move the pocket? Is he making the right calls? I think I think that Carson Beck could pre-snap make, you know what I mean, make the adjustments for the defense, and most of these guys probably could. But his mobility is something that I definitely want to see him do. You know what I mean? Avoiding pressure in the pocket, extending plays, getting busy. You know what I mean? And that's all I want to see out of Carson Beck. I do. That's I think that's fair to say. I think he has a lot of the others, and like people said, like with just him having one thing, he should have been number one, right? But I'm gonna tell you why he's not, and I'm about to get up into that. I'm about to get up into that. Yes, sir. Who is it? Yes, sir. Yeah, Lenore Sellers is number one on my list. Yes, he is. Out of South Carolina. Yes, he is. Yes, like listen, y'all. There's no way. There's no way that he's not. He is probably the most athletic quarterback in college football. Like the other guys who give him a run for his money, I put on the list. Talon Green and Caden Salter, right? You could argue, but from what we have seen in the SEC, Lenore Sellers is a great athlete at the quarterback position. Say what you want about the guy, man. Say get your emotions out of this. Get your emotions out of this. Lenore Sellers is a problem. No, and a problem in a good way. It's a good. Hey, listen. Lenore Sellers, y'all, and his athletic ability alone will take him to be a number one draft pick. Period. He's six. They got him listed as 6'3". He's 242 pounds. That mobile. He's 242 pounds. That mobile. 242 pounds. That mobile. Yes, dog. Yes, that's a running back. He's a glorified running back throwing the ball. Period, point blank. And he's good at it. So and that's why I got him out there, right? So he had last season, he had 2,534 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, right? So we can say he's a true 6'2". Let's just say he's 6'2", 242 pounds. That is a big guy. That's a big guy. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, he's stout, right? And he's only, y'all, the crazy thing is the dude can still, he don't have to come out next year. Lenore Sellers don't have to come out next year. That's the crazy thing. But he's in the SEC. And the thing is like, why hold him that long? Why hold him that long? You're going to have to throw an NIL deal at him. That's going to have to be $20 million fully guaranteed for him to stay in college. I think if he has a good season at South Carolina this year, if he throws for over 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and he can, and he can keep the interceptions just about where he had this year, I think Lenore Sellers, like, for sure, Lenore Sellers is first round pick. Now, I don't know the 40 speed, but we know he's a dual threat quarterback. We know that for a fact. We know that. Like, he just got busy last year. You know what I mean? He had 106. He had 166 carries, 674 yards, 7 touchdowns on the ground. He was averaging 4 yards per tote. We know he got the rushing ability. The only thing, like, and he has some things to work on, right? And that's I think that's what do you want to see out of Lenore Sellers, Truckee, right? He's the most athletic coming back this year. I think he's looked at as being one of the, a early Heisman candidate. He's just the guy that the Pittsburgh Steelers need. I think he's the guy like a lot of guys need. A lot of guys need. Maybe the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, most definitely. Anyhow, so he has the physical attributes as far as rushing, right? He has that. Now, the traits that I think he has to work on and it might be quite a lot with him. And that's why I'm not really, I don't think he should come out We'll see what this year entails with him, but this is a telltale year, right? If he comes out, I think he would be the most sought after quarterback if you see everything you want to see, because I think that Lenore Sellers, his arm strength is definitely there. He definitely got a cannon. Definitely without a doubt got a cannon. But he has to get that accuracy together. And all I mean with accuracy is that I'm not saying that he's throwing it too far away. Let me give you some context into the accuracy, what I'm talking about with Lenore Sellers. Knowing when every ball's not, you don't got to throw every ball super hard, right? Sometimes you got to be able to lob it to the running back, and you got to, put it on his outside shoulder, not the inside shoulder. You know what I mean? You want to put on his outside shoulder because you don't want him to turn back too far, and then now the running back can't get his feet set. Um, you go all that matters for him, right? So that's what I mean by accuracy with Lenore Sellers. I want to, knowing when to put touch put a touch on the ball versus throwing it hard every time, right? So I guess you could kind of say put that in the category of also saying ball placement, right? So ball placement accuracy, right? It's okay. Um his mechanics, I think in his mechanics, I think, come from they look good. The way he sets his feet. Um I seen sometimes he would drift in a pocket, but and it wasn't a lot. But you see that with a lot of guys, and that could be my eyes deceiving me, because I think you see that with guys who are mobile and they know that they can, pick up yards with their feet. They tend to drift, right? So his pocket presence, um, his pocket presence is, I think I want to see that. I definitely want to see how he's able to get that together for real, because I know that he can. His arm strength is there to make up for a lot, and his mobility, right? And he can move the pocket with his mobility. What else do you want to see out of Lenore Sellers? I think Lenore Sellers, I think with the 7 interceptions that he had, I think he was trying to force some things in, and that's just taking what the defense is giving him, because you're going to have to account for him. There's always going to be something there for Lenore's to get off, and he did pretty good with that. And he was learning as the season went on, and that's why I think Carolina became a dangerous team, because he was checking it to Josh Simon. You know what I mean? He was giving it to Rocket Sanders. He wasn't trying to go for the deep ball all the time. He was taking what the defense was giving him, and I think that's why we seen him actually grow from the beginning of last season to the end of last season with South Carolina. We seen that. And that's why a lot of us, and with that outstanding defense, a lot of us were saying that South Carolina is a very dangerous team, because we seen him grow last year. We've actually seen that. So he definitely has the ability to do that. Now, do I question his overall football IQ? I think he has it, but like I said, everybody has things to work on, right? But in the NFL, and I'm talking about these guys moving on to the NFL. I'm not talking about in college, because I think all 5 of these quarterbacks will be uh 5 of the best college quarterbacks in college football next season. I do. I know without a doubt they will be, but I'm talking about them moving and being a draft pick, and some of the things we want to see them work on to know that if they're going to be, how ready they'll be in the NFL in the first round pick, right? But just, what I'm saying, his post snap reads and his pre snap read. I would say his pre snap, because I think that got him into some trouble into going in, because look, post snap, you're going to see a spy at some point who's going to be the spy. And I think his pre's was off by a little bit. And I know that's odd to say. I'm not saying that he didn't make the right check for right protections, but all I'm saying is like, okay, dang, you know what I mean? And sometimes he may have messed up on that. So um especially when I can't remember what game was that when they was playing them and then went to overtime. I want to say it was Alabama. The Alabama game showed that. So you go back and watch that Alabama game and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll be like, oh, okay. I think I know where he's going towards. You know what I mean? If you watch that Alabama game with Lenore Sellers. But other than that, I really like the guy. I really think that he's it. Lenore Sellers is it, y'all. He is it. Perfect size. Um, and he's the most dynamic. He's the most athletic quarterback. I think he's one of them guys, man. He's just it. He's one of them guys. But don't sleep on Taylor Green either, though. Don't sleep on Taylor Green. I want to keep an eye on both of those SEC quarterbacks. You know what I mean? I really do. But that's my list, y'all. That's my list. And let me put this in the context for y'all a little bit more, right? Because I think I talked about it at the beginning of the video, but I've been going for almost an hour now, right? So um we're looking at this in a perspective as far as being like, okay, we got these guys and they balling, right? And they play the game. And the AFC North and the NFL, we have a barometer of quarterbacks that we're looking at now, right? We're looking at these quarterbacks as being the saviors of the NFL, or these quarterbacks, these five quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Dak Prescott, as being the five of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And that's what we're looking at. And now you got the upcoming guys, and knowing it's a traits thing. We know it's not exactly what you do in college all the time, but a lot of it has to do with your physical traits and your mental traits. You know what I mean? And your size, your sheer overall size. We've seen that happen. We cannot sit here and say that we have not seen that happen, but it's a quarterback problem. And now when you really when I really did this top five to give you guys something to look at and to say, okay, I understand now why some people may say quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers and for the Cleveland Browns, they may still be going quarterback. They may still go quarterback next season because they have the ability to do that, because they drafted at a quarterback position as expendable. You know what I mean? They just did. They did. They drafted the quarterback position very expendable, and a lot of the guys did. Sort of like if they hit, they hit. They miss, they miss. But we're tired of drafting quarterbacks in the first round that don't pan out when we could have got them for a 6th round pick and still draft the quarterback the following year and not be looked at as a laughing stock, especially to the guys in the NFL that really know what they're doing, and to the analytic guys and spending the money it takes for a 1st round or a 2nd round draft pick, or on a, you know what I mean? Like you done drafted a 1st round pick, and when you sign them, I guess what is it? At least no less than 20 mil or something like that, right? You know, I think it varies with teams, correct? And in the order you would pick them, but we spent 12, what, 20 million, $35 million on a quarterback who didn't pan out, but we got to give him another shot because we got so much money tied up into him. And at the end of the day, it's a business, right? So, but when you're looking at these guys, and if these guys work on some of the things that we talked about throughout this video, and because they have the size, and if they can, and if you see this growth through these guys in this season, they're for sure 1st round picks because of everything we talked about. But if you can get them in the later rounds, then that's cool too. But I don't think that you're going to wait for some of these guys. When these guys are available on that draft board, they're going to want to be snatched up pretty quick. And shout out to Eli, Archie Manning, and Cabe Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier. Those guys all have it, but they're gonna have to really have outstanding seasons. That their size, they're all like true 6'1", 3/4 quarterbacks. And you're really gonna have to see something really phenomenal to reach for those guys. And we're seeing that now happen with the NFL. We've seen it and they made the message pretty clear. So if you haven't learned this year what's going on, and that's why some of these guys may not made the list. The only reason why I didn't put Archie on there is in the quarterbacks from Ohio State or whatever, and because we pretty much know these guys are going to get a good look. You know what I mean? We don't know if the most athletic quarterback in college football, Lenore Sellers, is going to get a look. You know what I mean? But we definitely don't know if Taylor Green from Arkansas is going to get a look, especially if they don't have a good season, right? We just know that. And Drew Aller's been critiqued a lot, but that's just my top five. But y'all let me know y'all top five, and definitely let me know what y'all think about the top five that I put down. You know what I mean? Definitely let me know, because I definitely like to have a conversation about it, because it's crazy. This goes deep, man. It goes deep. But that's all I had to say, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Keep on grinding out there, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all always in my prayers. Pray for me. I pray for y'all, man. Peace.